your eco-conscious business. And today I'm really pleased to be joined by Leon Davies, and we're talking about solutions and funding to help businesses go greener. So welcome, Leon. Great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Karen. Really appreciate being invited on such a cool show.
Oh, thank you. So just to give you a bit of background, Leon is a consultant in sustainability, business and lifestyle goals, and he's got over a decade of experience in renewable energy and has become an expert in sustainability practice and funding. So deals with anything from kind of home eco swaps you can make to going into businesses and helping them go greener. So we'll launch straight into the questions because I know there's a lot to cover, and I'm sure from the audience we'll get a lot of questions as well. So you talk about collective action and the time is now. How can people and businesses get started on their sustainability journey?
Just literally go for it. See what funding's about. Go to your councils. There's eco hubs in each council. So like we live in Norwich and Norfolk, the Chambers of Commerce has got hubs of information, and literally do the small easy wins. On my webpage I have 10 easy wins to save the planet, and they're all free. That's
brilliant, isn't it? And I've shared the link as well in the post, so anyone watching or you catching the replay, do check that out. That's really brilliant. And is budget an issue, do you find, for businesses trying to go greener? And if so, kind of what sort of funding is available?
Yeah, so there is several funding options, and to get the grant, normally you have to put the money up front and then claim the grant. Okay. But there is lots of pots of money. So, for example, I was working with a really cool company in Norwich called Goodery. We acquired 2 vans and we got 50% back off each van, electric.
Wow.
So saving of £14,000 per van.
Wow, that's a lot, isn't it?
You do need to sometimes get the money up front, but there's companies all around the UK, asset finance companies, that will lend you the money and then you pull it back and you just move forward from that.
Yeah. And that's part of the process. When you're working with people, you'll actually help them source those funding pots and things and help them through that process, because I know it can be quite difficult.
And the long-term thing is with anything sustainable, solar or vehicles, etc., you'll get your money back a lot quicker than people think.
Right. Okay. In terms of kind of the running costs and things like that. Yeah. So it's the same like having solar panels on your roof, and that it's quite a big investment up front, but you make that back over the years. Yeah. And you've had amazing experience. I mean, I've watched your journey. I know you through my local eco meetup networking group, and you launched UK's first zero emissions taxi service, Zero Taxis. And can you tell us a bit more about this and how that came about?
I come up with a crazy idea of obviously setting up a taxi company to start with, and then just making it as green as I can. I'm a renewable engineer, so I have the skill set to kind of, my home was off the grid and just use the energy from solar, battery storage straight to the cars to ensure that there was 100% renewable energy. And all our customers and corporate customers, they loved it because we were so green. And a lot of people think, oh, what happens to the batteries in the cars? Well, they have a second and third lease of life. They go in storage containers. So one of them powers the Amsterdam Arena, and one's Arsenal's ground. So there's loads of opportunities afterwards for stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest questions or arguments. People go, oh, well, if you're going electric cars or whatever, what about all the batteries and all the mining that goes on to produce that stuff? I suppose you're always going to have to knock one thing against another, aren't you? But as you say, if it's got a second lease of life, that's better than.
Yeah, and some of these cycles, you can use different makes, but Tesla's the power walls, they got 1 million cycles. It's like 35 years.
Yeah,
it's an incredible thing, and the technology and the mining's improving, so things are moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay. And one of the questions I got asked when I posted about this on LinkedIn was talking about alternatives to gas boilers.
Okay. So very good question. There's several options. You can, I don't know if people know about air source heat pump. You get the air in, the fan converts the energy into heat, and that's a really, really sustainable way. It's not a huge amount of money. You've got a ground one, which obviously takes the temperature from the earth. That's expensive. And there is options what you call hybrid ones, where you convert your existing gas boiler and you have a small heat pump. So heat pumps are now in cars and in tumble dryers, and they're very efficient of producing energy. You can have biomass boilers with pellets and stuff, but that takes up a lot of space and costs quite a bit of money. So one really positive thing is the government last week said in April 2022 there will be a funding of £400 million to assist people between 7 and 14k to try and get rid of their old boilers and stuff like that. But it's going to take time, and people definitely need the support from the local councils and the government.
Yeah. Is that, because I've heard also about hydrogen as well.
So
is that another one they're thinking about?
So hydrogen is very much big now in Germany and Holland, and they have stations as well. But we've got the infrastructure, but I think we're minimum 5 years away behind hydrogen, because some of the stuff in your pipework will have to change.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
it's definitely in the peripherals of the big 6 companies.
Yeah, but you said that sort of a lot of the stuff is kind of moving quite fast now, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're putting
it. Yeah, I said I was with Cambridge University over the last 6 months, and one in Hertfordshire, and some of the ideas and the tech moving, it just blows your mind.
Brilliant. We were just talking before, because we've still got a bit of time to go. How you work when you go into a company. You were just talking about how things worked when you were in Scandinavia and versus, the kind of companies that you like to go in here and how you help them. How does that process work? How do you work with businesses like that?
Yeah, so generally when I go into a company, like I spoke about one I'm seeing this afternoon, we go in, we do a small audit, and we ask them, what do you want from going green? What does it mean to you? Then we just, I said, we do the small audit, we do a printout from saying this is where we think, but we very much get every member of staff involved, and we facilitate some 1 hour meetings with them. And we as a team, we work as it, fully, and also we get some ambassadors in the company that we liaise with as well, and just see how they're getting on, and a bit of coaching, and we also learn from them, so everyone wins.
I think that's such a great idea, just getting the whole team involved, not just going in at sort of the management level. I think it's really important, isn't it, to get the whole company involved, because there's so many different perspectives. Yeah,
and as I was saying earlier, Karen, also the different ages, very much is everyone brings something different to the party, with different mindsets. So that's always been a good learning for me.
Yeah.
Companies.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. And so what would you say is your top eco tip for businesses then? Or have you got one for business, one kind of for lifestyle?
So one for business is just go for it now. Just go for it. And you'll come to some stumbling blocks. There's people that help you. I'll do some of the stuff for free. But for home is try and use what you've already got. So try and fix it. Rather than buy, let's just, our family's done it. And literally in my kitchen here, I think nearly everything is secondhand.
Right.
And I've had to fix it. I've had a specialist in to do some bits for me. But in the long run, I've saved thousands, absolutely thousands. And it still looks pretty good. So,
it gives someone a job, doesn't it, to come and repair something rather than
but that's what we used to do, isn't it?
Exactly. That's a really good tip. So just lastly, I know we were chatting just before the show, and you mentioned an app called treatly.com, and I just love this idea. So could you just tell us quickly about that?
Yes, it's founded in Norwich by a very, very cool team. I met them several weeks ago, and basically, if you walk 5,000 steps, the company and the sponsors will plant a tree for you.
I love that.
And moving further, you can have there's leagues, there's companies, there's organizations. So yeah, it's really, really good. So me and my sons, especially the 9-year-old who likes to play on his tablet, we've been going out, doing our steps, and we've been planting trees, and it's free.
That's brilliant, and good exercise as well. So we'll share links to that as well in the show.
Brilliant.
Definitely. So thank you so much for joining us. We're out of time, but you can find Leon at leondavies.co.uk. Thanks so much for joining us, Leon.
Thank you, Karen. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, so many great insights there. To our viewers, if you're watching live or you're watching the replay, please keep your questions coming. Both Leon and I will check up on those. We'll respond and help out where we can. And we'll share the links that we've mentioned as well. So take care, everyone, and see you same time next week.
Thanks, bye.